Welcome to this beautiful platform. We are talking to young women who are determined to change their communities. These wonderful young women have started their own initiatives with nothing but aiming to change their communities. Through determination and proper mentorship, we believe that they are going far.
Every woman deserves to be in a peaceful and a secure space.
Women are socialized to have different roles.
Any action that you do, you must be ready to pay the price.
They have commercialized our bodies in every aspect of life.
You're beautiful before even a man tells you that.
Okay, jambo everyone. So we have a session today. We're calling it Ask Mom Jane. We just want to learn from Mom Jane, want to mirror her steps, and all that. So I will start, Mom Jane, by asking you. I believe by the time you were starting Polycom, you were already a mother, a wife, and so many other roles aside from Polycom. So I'd want to know what motivated you to wake up after you have taken care of your family, your children, yourself, to still want to choose, let me go and pursue that kakosa I had started. Kwa sababu I feel like for us, something as simple as if I get a gig, a job, kidogo hivi, ama if I travel up country, I come back, I will need like a week or two to recover. I'll be like, acha ni postpone kitu kwanza before I get there. Like for us, I feel like, for me to pursue my initiative fully, I do it mostly when I'm idle vizuri. Otherwise, kazi kidogo hivi nikifua weekend, I don't want to do the initiative and all that. So I want to know what kept you going, because I feel like motherhood asks for a lot. I'm not a mother, but I have seen motherhood asks for a lot. Being a wife, I think, also asks for a lot, and so many other things. You are a sister, you are a daughter. So what kept you going after doing all these things that people are asking of you, that are your responsibility? How do you still choose wacha sasa nikaangalie ile Polycom and all that?
Hey, hi girls.
Hi.
So it's nice to talk to you, and I think your question was really long with so many aspects. Yes. I think what I can say before I start is that what I'm learning is that you young people, you define yourself too much. You like put a lot of baggage on you. Already you're talking about getting tired about washing clothes. You're already talking about coming from Mushago. You're already talking about, and now we're just with you here, So I think you're carrying a lot of baggage. You should close some tabs. You should make yourself a little lighter, and then you can move. So life, I think when I got to Kibera when I was still very young, I was brought up in the village. And so that was in my late teen, and that is when I got married. Kibera was tough for me. Being that I was brought up in the village, and you know how open the village is and everything. And by the way, I was seeing these very tough, tall buildings for the first time in Nairobi, and I didn't like it. It was a little stressful. And so what did I do? I would write a lot. I would write. So anytime I didn't like anything, I would write. I had my, nowadays we would call it hashtag, but then they were just titles. So I would write "Not My Life," because I didn't like so many things about the life that I was leading. Then later, when I was able now to start a change, then it was like going. I think what really drove me in every aspect, in the context and many things that I did when I started my life was like, I think I was my own master, and I was carrying a lighter luggage. So when I was doing Not My Life, I was like, okay, I have to tell it to someone, and I have no one to tell it to. I was from the village. I didn't have family around. I just had my little elderly Nubian lady. We call them Abuba. So I had my own Abuba, who I trusted and talked to a lot. So when I started Polycom, when I decided to take the initiative, when I found this situation, I didn't know that I was starting an organization, by the way. Just as I've said that I would follow what I believe in. So there was this young girl who was being sexually molested. So I decided to stick with the girl as people went after the man. You know, the usual thing. So I decided to stick with her to understand why she was doing it. And I made it as easy as possible for her because I was doing it from my heart. I was doing it from reality as opposed to those other things, you know, the research and things like that. So I decided I really looked for a way to get this girl to talk to me. So I got her to make my hair. Definitely I had short hair the way I have right now. So then growing up, tulikuwa tunatolewanga dandruff. So nikamweka nitoe dandruff, and I had a mirror looking at her, and I was seeing how much I was disgusting her, talking to her. You know, she had no guts, like she wouldn't tell me unaniudhi the way you guys say it today, but nilikuwa namuudhi, you know, so nilikuwa naona vile anafanya uso, you know, all those things. And I was like, there's a problem here. So I decided to lower myself and be her friend. And so I started my work like that. After that, I started bringing other girls together. I was like, you know, if she was doing this, and what about the girls around here? So I'd bring girls together. We just talk, we just share. And, you know, I just decided to be the girl's friend, which I am to date. So it was that drive. It wasn't the money. It was like, you know, so I had my family. Somehow I decided as much as possible to separate my family from this work that I was pursuing. Though I had daughters, and the daughter was already big enough. I brought her into the space with these girls because mostly these girls were her friends. So that is how I started, but I would still do everything I had to do. I think I really had my days well planned. I would wake up very early in the morning, which was my norm. I would wake up very early in the morning and do my cleaning because I had good young kids. After doing my cleaning, because we also economize water within the slums, so that water, the one that is remaining, is what I would use to clean my house, and my whole house was clean. That is before breakfast, before we had our breakfast. And then after that, you know, like in Nairobi, you have a whole day for yourself until you get to that time when you're getting the clothes out to fold them. So I had all that time to think, to relax, to just organize and pursue what I believed in. Yeah.
I'd just like to ask, outside work, how did you maneuver our friendships, relationships? Because many a times we find friends who pull us down. You want to do something, but then, you know, like, you can't do it. You don't have the strength, you don't have the capacity. But how did you maneuver such kind of relationships and friendships? Or did you ever experience that kind of thing?
People who bring people down, it's very common and it works a lot. But what do you have within yourself? Like, what do you really have within yourself? And what is your chemistry with the person that you're relating with? Because we know very many people, we know people around, we relate with people differently. But what is your chemistry? If it's the person who is bringing you down and you don't like the way they take you along that line, then why would you relate with them along that line? You know, like, you have your career friends, you have your family friends, you have your religious friends, you must define, why do I have this person in my life? Because if you don't define that, then you'll always be disappointed. You know, your church friend would be wanting you to go to church, and your party friend wants you to go to party, and you don't want to disappoint anyone. So you start running around like that head. You call it chicken?
Headless chicken.
Headless chicken. You start running all over. But if you're able to define that, now my chemistry with Malin is, you know, birthdays. So when their birthdays, Malin, tafadhali, don't leave me out. But when I'm going to work, then this is my work friend. When if you're able to organize yourself like that, then you'll have all the friends in the world. But you also should ask yourself, what is the depth of our relationship? You know, how much do I let in? Because if you give too much, then expect yourself to be what? To be hurt that much. Remember that they are human beings and they reason differently. So define your chemistry with whoever you're linking up with.
I think one thing we've all been curious about is trying to know, how is Madam Jane a jack of all trades? How does she do it? And a master of a lot of things, you know. Like, how have you been able to fit in different spaces, you know, with the young girls, with the older women, and with, you know, people who are standards are up there and they have status and names and titles, but you've been able to do all that. So I'd like to know how you've been able to do that.
Yeah, thanks so much. I think I've known myself. I believe in myself, and being next to who does not intimidate me, because you know, it doesn't. you know yourself more than I know you. Where we are seated right now, you can't tell who took breakfast and who didn't take breakfast. You can't tell who had sausages and who had just muogo.
Yeah.
You can't tell who just had water and had water. So when you start when you start looking at people and then you say, hey, them they're just eating this and me, I'm not eating this.
Yeah.
Then they have this pleasure and I don't have this pleasure. I've gone to meetings where I would be given parking card when I didn't have a car. So, it doesn't intimidate me and it doesn't even challenge me because I'm like, God's timing is the best.
Yeah.
I'm not going to raise my bar to that extent that, I must come with a car because there's a car here. That's me and accept me the way I am. And a friend of mine who inspires me a lot used to tell me that, you know what, Jane, you are your own expert. So these experts, this book experts, the professors, the doctors who are talking here, they know nothing about Kibera. You know Kibera. So within that line, you are the expert. Within their line, they're the expert. So you are the expert in your own context. So I think this one really propelled me. I really accepted myself. I remember when we started having our sessions at Polycom and we would have a bit of money to make food. I would wake up very early in the morning and cook because I needed the money then. I really needed that money. Right now, I give somebody else to do it because I know I have another role.
Yeah.
And I don't have to take everything from everyone. I remember I would have sessions where I am the facilitator, like I'm the person who go in very early in the morning and organize the room. I am the facilitator. I am the cook. I had cooked very fast and left food at home covered, because first I know I needed the money. So I had to do this. Secondly, I knew that I have a content that is a little unique that I have to present. So I don't really want this professional because maybe they're going to dilute or something like that. And then I also needed that money. So I would just do all these things. Like personally, I've really done it all. I know it can be story for another day, like what have I really been able to organize around my life? Because mostly, I think most duration of my marriage life, my husband never had a job. But I made a promise to myself that my kids are never going to go without food. I had personally set some little standards for myself, So I decided to maintain that to the extent that I would go and even clean for people, for me to be able to make sure that every week I must have my 500 shillings. It was my target, and I kept it. Unfortunately, nowadays, you guys don't want to bring the 500 shillings with me. Yeah.
I think just to follow up that question, it's such an inspiration. Many times you just think people just happened. And I think even just running an organization, sometimes I'm even like, ati mimi ni watu wanitanga. If any calls me ED, I'm like, hey, ED. Sometimes you want to tie it to money.
Yeah.
Because uko hapo, yes, God, this is what I want to do. But as you uko intimidated, hata ujui useme nini. You don't have the words. You like, I sound so foolish. On the other end, people are like, wow, you're doing so good. Maybe I just want to ask, when you are starting, were you like, hey, I have the words, hey, this is it, hey, yeah, like.
So first, I want to take away the word you just said, I sound so foolish. So why are you beating yourself? Why are you sounding so foolish? Why do you allow yourself to sound so foolish? Why can't you take it just one step at a time? So yes, there were times I've really felt intimidated in some spaces. I remember when I traveled to the US for the first time, then Kibera Women for Peace and Fairness, an initiative that we started as a result of the Kenyan post-election violence in 2007. That is the organization that took me. So when I went there, being listed in the community, we don't have executive directors. We only have chair ladies. So I applied as chair lady, but they listed me as the executive director. So anytime they were introducing me, it wasn't me. Or anytime I tried to introduce myself, it wasn't really me. I think that is the space where I felt most intimidated since I started my work, because it came when I least expected it. It came when I would still feel like, mi siwezi hata kupanda ndege. But now it came, and I was given the opportunity, and I went to White House. I was like, it was one of the highest opportunities. In fact, I still ask myself whether, was it because of the work that I was doing, or is it because I was supposed to be, like, I measured to the women who were there, because they were women political leaders. And here I was, and I was the youngest as well. So it was really tough anytime they were introducing me. And generally out there, people have a lot of interest in Kenya. So they would really ask you a lot of questions. And somehow I was really trying to be official as well. Until one translator, her name is Isabel, I'd like to share this with her. So Isabel actually called me on the side and told me, you know what, Jane, you have so much to offer. And you have this strong power in within. So don't allow anyone to intimidate you. I want you to go. I want you to talk very openly. I want you to say, we love listening to you. And I think that affirmation just propelled me. To the extent that some of my, the partners we had, I was the only Kenyan, but we were 8 women from different African countries. They started feeling intimidated. And they now try to intimidate me. But this lady would have a session with me after every session. She was like, Jane, you did well. Jane, don't allow this. Jane, and I think it just got me somewhere. So at times, even if we don't have people to affirm us, let's try to affirm ourselves. Let's try to identify that strong thing that you stand out and say, you know what, Jane, this is you and no one is taking away this. You know, I look at all, you don't even have to compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to the yesterday. But then you'll just feel that, hey, I'm here and no one is taking this away from me.
We've talked about comparisons, and then I was thinking, have you ever had like imposter syndrome? Like you just feel like I didn't do my best, or Malin does better than me, or can I really match up to how Madam Jane is an excellent speaker? Yeah. And I ask myself, can I really match up to where she is right now? I know you have experience, but then I look at myself with my age mates. There's, the Marlene, Fanny, those kind of people. And then you sit down and ask yourself, do I really have the capacity to really speak, not really speak like them, but articulate words even better? So have you ever had that imposter syndrome, or feel like, someone is better? How can I get to that place?
Yeah, that one is always there. And I think, I don't know when we outdo it. It's always there, but still, what should console someone is that what is within my control. What is really within my control. If I can do it, I can do it. And if I set my mind to do it, I will do it. So am I really up for it? So I think with that, you're able to conquer every challenge that is up there. I remember when I was supposed to give my talk, when I was supposed to facilitate for the first time, I still remember it was supposed to be at Pan-Afric, and this lady insisted. So I talked to that small mirror of mine in my house, my friend. I'm here. I'm going there tomorrow. I even dressed up at night and looked at myself. Am I okay? I really tried to fit in, and then I tried, and I think there's a bit of it that still affects me today. I don't know whether you've been in a space where I'm a little angry when I'm talking. I talk so loudly and strongly until I tell myself, Jane, today you didn't do so well. You were so strong. Because I think then what I was saying, I was just looking at life in a very serious manner. Because I was coming out on my own. Like people would see me out there and they were like, hey, I think she has something in hand. We want to work with her. But from where I was coming from, I had none. So I think it's always imposter syndrome is always there. But how do you work with it? Have you written it down and say this, you know what, and are you able to score yourself and say, hey, today I did well. Hey, you have to also encourage yourself. Because the truth is, nobody will really encourage you well if you don't encourage yourself.
Yeah.
Do you get anxious today? Like you're about to talk
right now.
In front of people and you're...
Yes, I do. Especially when I'm dealing with issues that anger me, things that really make me a little hungry. I remember the last time, I think it was last month, a niece of mine lost her husband. And now, nobody was telling her anything. People were organizing the burial without involving her. This is a very young lady. This is everything. The way, especially people from Western Kenya, nobody dies, And I'm saying western part of Kenya, the Luos, and I'm sure the Kisses as well, and the Luyas, they never die. They're always killed. So there was Yeah, that is the reality, the sad reality.
Yeah.
So they were not treating this baby so well, this young girl so well. So this is a girl I've seen since she was young, and I know her so well, and I was feeling her loss, and the fact that I'm also a widow, I was like, she's far much younger than me when I lost, and this is what I felt. So I was boiling from within, as they were saying there, whatever, the things like that. And I was with this girl, and I already felt that she was dying from inside. So this anxiety, oh my friend, when I stood up, when I came out and just talked, and people tried to tell me, hey, nyamaza sasa. And I was like, you guys are killing this girl and I'm not allowing you. You guys are killing this girl. So that was a tough one. But when I went back and asked myself, hey, Jane, you already passed this serious anger. If you didn't have, if you're so anxious at times, you don't bring out your facts. So at times it's good to try to stay calm. I try. We all try. Yeah.
Okay. So, Madam Jane, let me first commend you. You defied the odds, considering the time you were living.
Yeah.
No, it's not right now when you're saying women empowerment. And now, I have 2 questions, and I believe these are my last questions. The people in your life, you're a woman living in that era, you're a married woman, and now you're here doing things that women are not doing. I was thinking of the first time when you said, ninaenda to apply for a passport, and women were not even applying for IDs at this time. The ones who are doing this were few. So my first question is, what role did the people in your life, your husband, your children, and et cetera, play in putting you in a place where you can be Madam Jane? And second, what backlash did you get from the community? Leave America alone and everything. But that Kibera, that you come from Homa Bay, right? That Homa Bay, when you're telling people at home, by the way, guys, mimi naenda kupanda ndege and all that, and your husband is unemployed, you're already intimidating in the sense that you're bringing a source of income. So what backlash did you receive throughout this process, and what support did you receive from your family members and friends?
I don't know, but nowadays looking at it from back, I think my husband really believed in me, looking at it now, but he never told me. So when I was applying for my first passport, I think that one time I just wanted to travel. I have a friend who is very close to me. We worked together for her to get to the UK. She's still in the UK today. So she wanted me to go to the UK. And so that is when I had my last born was still very young. I remember when I went for my visa interview, I carried him along. So that was my first passport. And then I didn't have money. My husband actually helped me get the money. So within the work, or maybe when now I had the opportunity to travel, he never stopped me. He really never stopped me. And usually, I don't know where it came from, but I would keep my things so secret. I remember even when I was going to the US for the first time, my aunt had just died, so I was at home for the funeral. But I told it to no one. Imagine no one.
You're very good at keeping secrets.
No, my husband knew. No, he never mentioned it. I don't know why he never mentioned it, but it was just my thing. I didn't talk about it completely. I think I talked about my going to the US just a few days before my going. And the reason why I was talking about this, because I wanted someone to come and now stay in my house, take care of my children while I was away. Otherwise, I really kept it. I don't know where it came from, because initially I was like, I didn't see, I don't know whether I didn't see the need of sharing, but it became so normal to the extent that my recent experience wasn't so good. I think that was last month. So I traveled to Nepal. Did I tell my children? I'm just trying to ask myself. Yeah, because I take my cab, I go to the airport, I come back, And then when I go to Nepal, just the day before we came, we had that bad earthquake. There was that bad earthquake, and the flights were. I was told we couldn't leave. So I was stranded at the airport, but luckily I got internet, and then my youngest son, was asking me, hey, Mom, where are you? I'm coming home over the weekend. What? I'm trying to call you and I'm not reaching you. And I was like, imagine I'm in Nepal and this was happening. Hey, Mom, you're not serious. So that is when I really realized that it's always good to really share. By the way, life is a learning journey.
Yeah.
You don't always learn what is right. There are people who learn just because the learning, it comes. But there are people who learn because of circumstances. There are people who learn the hard way. That one was really tough. No flight was landing. No flight was leaving. So I was worried about my connecting flight, because you can go there and you stay for more than a day again. And then now I also had my other thing that I had planned back at home. So I think it's always important to really share, but also identify the person you're sharing with. And even when you're sharing, accept that this is not you. This is not you. They have their own opinion.
Yeah.
So you may get your share of backlash. Try as much as possible not to let it hit you, because this is a human being and they have their own ways of reasoning. Don't let it hit you. Just like, especially whatever you can control within yourself. But what you can't control, if you're sharing with somebody else, be at 50, be in the middle. If you go to the right, hallelujah. If you go to the left, don't let it break you.
My last question, okay. My very last question.
Okay.
What I'm 20. Is it 22 or 23? There.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
What would you tell yourself, your younger self, when you are 22 years old? What would you tell them right now?
What I would tell my younger self is to be as intentional as possible, to list down my likes, to do my own self-evaluation every now and then on every aspect. I would tell myself to define what success looks like for me. And I would score everything that is taking me towards my success. I would learn from others. Not by asking, but by action. But I would also listen to my inner self and bring out my strength. I would not allow my strength to be wasted, because I would not like to have regrets at my old age.
Wow. Claudia's, I think telepathy. Yeah, I also had the same question, but to follow up on that, where do you see yourself, let's say 5 years ahead from now? What would you like to see yourself achieving 5 years from now?
I would love to see a settled grandma. Having maybe, those periodic visits from my grandchildren. And then I would also be happy to be somewhere. I'm a naturalist. Just to be somewhere in a garden where I'm able to see plants and I'm able to interact with plants and just enjoy the nature. I'm also seeing myself in 5 years being part of global leadership. I'm already part of global leadership, yes, but I'm seeing myself really shedding off this much work. I don't want to say with you guys. This much work that is taking me down, so that I'm also only playing the advisory role to many of you and having this kind of beautiful conversations.
Nice.
A shout out to you.
Yeah.
We love you so much. I think, let me speak for myself. I don't know if I would be here if it were not for you believing in me. Yeah. I remember my first encounter with Polycom. I just came to Polycom today. On Friday, I'm going to Ethiopia. Evo too. And that's how, because I remember I felt like I was being forced to enter this space. Because I wanted to do music. My dad is like, music itakupeleka mahali. Go volunteer there. So the idea of doing social justice advocacy came because of what you did. So thank you so much. And I believe these ladies can speak for themselves. Thank you so much. I've found my voice. Yes, I had it, but you helped me bring it out. Today I'm in spaces like, have you gone to university? I'm like, They're like, how? Thank you so much, Ma'am Jane. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe this is going to be a story for another day, Marlene. We have to go head to head, yeah? Me and you. Because, that is where we talk about miracles. Because at times, and I think you still believe that your dad came to me. Your dad never came to me to talk about you. Not one day. Your dad told us years back when you were about you being sick.
Yeah.
So I met your dad one day and I asked your dad about you.
Yeah.
And this is the time that we were preparing to go to Ethiopia. So when I asked your dad about you, and she said, and then I was like, okay, and do you think she has a passport? I'm looking for a girl who is 18 years old and it's supposed to be. It was like that. Yeah. She never came to me, It was just I don't know, but it was just God's doing. Yeah. So that one is a story for another day. The way you came with moods, the way you refused to do what, the way you refused to do what. So I look at you today. And many times we mistake our parents like that. Because young people, at times you think, she went to talk about me. So maybe yesterday you were told not to do something. The parents try to correct you. Yeah. And then maybe something, when an opportunity comes up and they say, you know what Jane is doing? Say, hey, so you already went and told her that I'm disturbing you here. Imagine, that is what you really mistake your parents. You really mistake. And this one was a very clear one. Where you just thought, because I saw even when you came and you were like, is she full? Imagine, I think when I talked to you, saw an opportunity and he was like, I'm taking. And now you can imagine, you want the best for your child. Yes. But now your child is holding you at ransom. Ulienda ukawambia sasa.
Yeah, but I feel like, but I feel like
story for another day.
In hindsight, looking at it now, honestly, I was the foolish one. Because truthfully,
we are dismissed. We are crushing this foolish word out.
Sawa.
There is no foolish person.
Let me say, I didn't know. I was just young.
No, yes. It's a stage. It's a stage and very understandable.
Yeah, but I'm grateful. Yeah. Thank you.
I think my closing statement is just to thank you for having such a good relationship with not only the young girls, the young women, and those at your level, those above your level, but being able to be approachable enough for us to feel comfortable enough to talk to you whenever, to relate with you, to laugh, even to approach you personally. I feel like that's a gift not everyone has, and really appreciate you for that, and we love you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For me, it's more so the same. What they've talked about. I believe the first time unashinda unanika kwa panels, and I'm scared. I've never spoken in a panel. I've never been in front of people. And then I remember we went to, I can't remember. There's a meeting, and then you were like uko kwa panel. I see myself in the panel and I was not prepared. I didn't know. So I'm just supposed to go and sit with people who have, they're experts, they're professionals, they have like experience. But then I'm grateful for that because it grew me tremendously. I was able to learn that I can be able to speak even in front of professional people. And most of all, you are an amazing, amazing, amazing woman. If you didn't know that, man, I don't want to say I wish you were my mother, but
God gave you the right one.
Yeah. So thank you so much for what you do. Just keep doing what you're doing. You are impacting a lot of lives out here. You might not know it, but so many of the girls out here are like, kama si Madam Jane Aki. But then just keep doing what you're doing. And we love you.
Dola mingi.
Okay, so as we wrap it up, so sadly I don't have like a story the way this one would have. Madam Jane. When I came to Polycom, I don't know, I was always in my own corner. I used to feel like, if you don't know the girls of Polycom, you will feel like a Form 1 na Form 4s. You understand? So I used to hear Made, but I don't know who Made is. And then I'm a very nonchalant person, so I don't even care. And I'd say my first encounter with you was during the Passing the Baton, when we were having mentor or something, and for some reason
eye to eye.
And then for some reason I fell in her. No, me Madam Jane alikuwa tuna idea yake, hiyo ni yake. And for some reason I fell into her lap, and it was very calm, very, kwa sababu nilikuwa najiuliza hapa ni wapi nimekuja. Nani amenituma hapa? But it was very calm and everything. And if there's one thing I've always liked about Madam Jane, I think I even tell my mom, ule mama anakuanga tu dunia yake. Like, hizi mashida zenyu azimsumbui. Hizo pressure zenyu akiamka leo amwe atavaa miwani atavaa. Kama hataki atavaa. And that is what I admire about you, because for some reason I'm also that type of person. And you're literally a Mom Jane. You're very loving, very considerate, and very, when Madam Jane came to me and told me, I was in Nepal and I was talking to someone and this person was talking about menstrual health. In my head I was thinking, huyu mama alikuwa ananifikiria akiwa Nepal. Huyu mama alisikia initiative yangu ni ya menstrual health, and that shows vile umesema story yako, you're a very intentional person and you focus on one-on-one relationships, and that is one thing that is very beautiful about you. Thank you. And if I was to be given a Luo name, my mom told me time nilizaliwa ningeitwa Anyango, so
But we say
so your closing statement,
okay. Don't worry, they analog me. Yeah, so my closing statement is, girls, kindly relax, kindly just give grace to yourself, and try as much as possible to be hard, especially on your parents. Just get your peace elsewhere, because what is sad is that you need them. And if just having not that peace, not having peace with them can be tough for you, especially if you lose them. So I've talked to girls who are just wishing, and so let's just give ourselves grace, and just look at the beautiful thing within us and nurture it. So let nobody dim your light. Shine your light.
Thank you.
Thank you.